My name is Daniel, and this is What Legacy Are You Leaving? What legacy are you leaving for the future generations of your family's lineage? The scriptures tell us that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. But this and righteously seeking after God, or we can leave them an inheritance of iniquity for which they will spend their entire lives trying to escape. We can store up righteousness and mercy which God will remember towards 1,000 generations of them that remain faithful. Or we can cause our children to have to be running from the iniquities in which we committed. See, this is very important that we understand the reason why we ought to leave a godly legacy for our children. Because if we leave them anything other than what God has ordained that we should leave them, we put them in a situation where they'll be trying to outrun who we were in our past, as if they won't have enough stuff to deal with in the current lifestyles that they choose to live. What inheritance are you leaving for the children that God has loaned to you? Because remember, even children are an inheritance of the Lord that He has given unto us, by which we are just managers over, that we are meant to manage them into the faith, and we are meant to teach them of God's goodness and His grace. So what inheritance are we leaving for the future generations of a nation that remains faithless? And so many of us young parents these days seem to think that they can find God on their own terms, their own way, because they don't want to force them down the path that they might have not chosen for themselves, that they had been given the opportunity from birth. But what child do you know makes all the right decisions all the time without you first having to teach them what is right from wrong? See, we do our children a great disservice by saying that we'll let them find God on their own terms, not knowing that their blood will be on our hands if we never taught them the right things to do when they were under our charge, and we left them no inheritance. See, if we leave our children no inheritance from the Lord, they are already in a worse position than when they started off in life, knowing that they were born sinners. It is our duty and our charge and our great privilege to be able to leave a godly heritage and inheritance for our children. But we can choose to either leave them a legacy of worshiping and seeking God, or we can leave them a legacy of running from God in stark opposition to what the position He had originally intended for them to be in. There are two different roads from which they have to choose, but the roads that they choose to grab hold to is largely based on what we teach them to become. Greatness begins with faith, but if we refuse to teach our children faith, how can they carry on in a legacy of worshiping God and receiving His unmerited favor and blessings? I heard a preacher say that God's blessings don't work on our terms or in our desired time frame, because you see, He sits outside of time in the realm of eternity. And He moves according to His own wills, not according to how we feel. And that's just awesome. So the question I leave with you now is this. What is the inheritance that you're leaving for your children? Are you leaving them unmerited favor by God, by which He will guard and protect them and keep them through their lives? Or are you leaving iniquity from which they will have to battle with all their lives? Are you leaving strongholds for them to have to overcome? Are you leaving victory from which they can climb that ladder towards the great faithfulness of God? What inheritance are you leaving your children, knowing that this will be required of you, because God gave you charge over them to do what He had called you to do, was to teach them the fear and the admonition of the Lord, which will guard them all the days of their lives. So what is the inheritance that you are leaving for your children? Thank you. My name is Daniel. Thank you for watching. God bless you.